Today, we are going to talk about another prominent figure in the Bible. His name is Ham, the life of Ham, a warning against disrespect and sinful choices. Ham, the son of Noah, is a controversial figure in the Bible. While his brothers Shem and Japheth received blessing, Ham's action led to a curse on his descendants. His story teaches us the importance of respect, righteousness, and making wise choices that honors God. Let's explore the life of Ham, the consequences of his action, and what we can do or learn from him today. 1. Ham was blessed by being in Noah's family. Ham was one of Noah's 3 sons. You can see this in Genesis 5 verse 32. He was among the 8 people saved from the flood, meaning he experienced God's mercy firsthand. You can see this in Genesis 7 verse 7. Even though the world was wicked, Ham had the privilege of growing up in a godly household under the leadership of Noah. So, modern application. Many of us have godly influence in our lives, Christian parents, pastors, and mentors, but having a godly background does not guarantee that we will make the right choices. Are you living in obedience to God, or are you taking His mercy for granted like Ham did? 2. Ham's disrespectful act towards his father. After the flood, Noah planted a vineyard, drank too much wine, and became drunk, and uncovered in his tent. You can see this in Genesis 9 verse 20 to 21. Ham saw his father's nakedness, and instead of covering him, he mocked and dishonored him. You can see this in Genesis 9 verse 22. His brothers, Shem and Japheth, acted righteously by covering their father without looking at him. You can see this in Genesis 9 verse 23. When Noah awoke, he realized what Ham had done and pronounced a curse on Ham's son, Canaan. You can see this in Genesis 9 verse 24 to 27. So, modern application. Ham's mistake was not simply seeing his father's naked, but disrespecting him and failing to show honor. How do we treat our parents, elders, and spiritual leaders? The Bible commands us to honor our father and mother. You can see this in Exodus 20 verse 12. Dishonoring those in authority, whether parents, teachers, pastors, or leaders, can lead to serious consequences. Are you choosing honor like Shem and Japheth, or dishonor like Ham? 3. The curse of Canaan, consequences of disrespect. Noah declared, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servant shall he be to his brothers." You can see this in Genesis 9 verse 25. Ham was not personally cursed, but his son Canaan was. This means that Ham's sinful attitude was passed down to future generations. The Canaanites, the descendants of Canaan, later became a wicked nation that practiced idolatry and immorality. Because of their evil ways, God commanded the Israelites to drive them out of the promised land. You can see this in Deuteronomy 7 verse 1 to 2. So, modern application. Our actions don't just affect us, they affect our children, our families, and future generations. Ham's dishonor led to long-term consequences for his descendants. What kind of legacy are you leaving for your children? Are you teaching them to honor God, or are you passing down rebellion and sin? 4. Ham's descendants, a mixed legacy. Ham's 4 sons were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. You can see this in Genesis 10 verse 6. His descendants formed powerful nations: Cush, Ethiopia, and parts of Africa; Mizraim, Egypt; Put, possibly Libya; Canaan, the wicked Canaanite. Some of Ham's descendants became great civilizations, but others became known for their wickedness. So, modern application. Ham's story reminds us that our choices shape our future. Even though he had the potential to lead a righteous family, his dishonor led many of his descendants into idolatry and sin. Are you making choices that will bring blessing or consequences to your family? 5. Lesson from Ham's life for us today. So Ham's mistake and the lessons for us. He dishonored his father. Always respect and honor parents and leaders. He mocked sin instead of correcting it. When we see wrong, we should respond with wisdom, not mockery. His actions affected his descendants. Our choices can bring blessing or curses to future generations. His descendants turned to idolatry. Stay close to God to avoid leading others into sin. So 6. The choice between blessing and curse. Ham's life teaches us a valuable lesson. We can choose to walk in righteousness like Shem and Japheth, or we can follow the path of dishonor and rebellion like Ham. Are you like Ham or Shem? Ham dishonor and sin. Shem's faith and blessing. Disrespected his father, honored his father, brought a curse on his descendant, brought a blessing on his descendant. His children became idolaters. His children became ancestors of Jesus. Mocked instead of covering sin, responded with righteousness. Every day we face choices that determine whether we walk in God's blessing or in the consequences of sin. Which path are you choosing? Are you following God like Shem or dishonoring him like Ham? In conclusion, learn from Ham's mistake. Ham had the privilege of experiencing God's mercy by being saved in the ark, but he still chose to act dishonorably. His story is a warning that being close to God's people is not enough. We must personally choose to live righteously. Today, God calls us to 1. Honor our parents and leaders. 2. Live righteously and avoid mocking others' mistakes. 3. Make choices that bring blessing to future generations. 4. Stay close to God so that our descendants will follow him. The question is, will you follow in the dishonorable steps of Ham, or will you choose the path of righteousness like Shem and Japheth? The choice is yours. Walk in honor, righteousness, and obedience to God, and your life will be blessed. Amen.